right, so basically we're back with exterior knowledge, and essentially, uh, like since today, the experiences that we all are having, as a collective form. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I guess that'll be the topic of today because honestly, like I was planning for other people to join as well, who experience, the white orb, you know. But in
Now,
all that,
I have a question for you, actually.
yeah. What's up?
Did you experience any red lights trying kind of zooming around your white orb, or was it just the white orb?
White orb. It would most likely, yeah. It's just a white orb.
Okay, because I have two different. There's the white orb, but then after that, because it had been two zooming across the sky, I thought it was Starlink, and then once I looked at it and thought that's what it was, they came back, and they were kind of like hovering right there. It looked like stars. They were so far away, but they were right there. You could tell that it was definitely not a star. They were moving around. So those guys hung out for a little while, a few days, and then about a week later, it's kind of a similar thing, but a little red light that was kind of going around it, and they didn't show up anymore.
Right. Yeah. Like I mean, it's possible for them to change colors and come in various different ways. Um, and like so you're saying that this happened a week after or before?
A week after the red light, and then
Mhm.
after the red light thing, they didn't show up anymore.
So, but did you get any sense or feeling from the red light?
Kind of not a good one. Like I came back inside, it didn't feel the same.
Right. So it felt more like a negative intention.
It felt more of like a question mark of something that I didn't feel comfortable with, because it was not something that felt like it. Yeah, like it didn't have good intentions.
Hmm. Yeah, like sometimes you see we contact, and this is what I'm trying to reach to, for instance, I always see the same white orbs. I literally today at my job, and this also happened yesterday as well at my job, where I saw the white orb. It came and then it went through my direction, and then it left to where all the other cars were at, and then was just scouting the area. And not and 3 nights ago, I saw these three orbs literally above my head. One was coming my direction, the other one was coming from the left, and then the other one that was coming from the left, another one appeared but then left, like just disappeared at that moment. The one that was coming uh, from the left of me in the sky.
Have they tried to communicate with you? Like, do you sense any like kind of mental telepathy type thing?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like they I mean, just by showing them to me, they are allowing me to know who they are. Especially when they're bringing their two other friends. Like that's what I feel when I see like multiple of them pop up.
Can you get your friends to be able to see them? Because like every time I try to tell my husband come outside with me, he there's nothing.
Well, I have 6 witnesses in my life who have seen them with me. So it's all about like connecting together, and that other person has to be ready about to what they're about to see.
Maybe it's the time's not right or just the spot I'm at. I don't know, man.
Has
Plus,
anybody had experiences with spirit guides? Or like is that how you interpret the orbs as spirit guides? Because
Okay,
I've experienced
my spirit. Like, go ahead.
I've experienced and I've gone through like some really different experiences lately. I experienced this being that was like shifting people. Like the only way I could tell it was the same being, it was through the eyes, and like he was kind of guiding me, and like he was helping me during a situation where my body was in a complete trance state. So it's not like I was fully in control consciously, but it's like more like I was being guided. So I'm still trying to figure out if it was a good thing or a bad thing or a neutral thing.
It really depends if it was guidance or control, because you got to be careful with entities that want to help you. It's not always help, because they'll try to sugar and sweeten the situation. And if you felt like you were in a trance, that might not have, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I don't know anything, but
yeah, like I honestly prefer people like you guys who are open-minded, and that's what I'm trying to like fix and like get to know with me. It's like whether I was in a good position or a bad position. From my point of view, like now I'm stuck with bills, now I'm stuck with like things like legal things I gotta clean up, and like it's not like I was influenced by a very positive energy.
well, I will say this, I've been under the influence of a demonic spirit because, and I'll be fully transparent with y'all, I was an IV meth user. I've been clean from that for years now. It did take me going to prison and rehab. I'm not gonna say that's your deal, but that was the demonic kind of spirit that kind of took over me. And the thing that got me past that, besides just being away for so long, was trying to connect. And I know a lot of people just say God, but when you say God, you really have to be more specific. And so I was trying to connect to the source of love. So if that is the place that I'm trying to connect to, then nothing can be vague or ambiguous about it where I'm going, because names can shift and change meanings over the years. And when we're born, we're not given anything except for all of this stuff that they tell us. And the stuff they tell us has been like changed over the years, and other people have made stuff. If you can just connect to the one thing is real, and that's just pure love, and align yourself with that, every action you make, every choice, every thought, because anything that you hate, anything that you kind of feel like a negative emotion towards, that negative emotion is like putting a coin in a certain bank jar, and you got two jars, so you put whichever coin in whichever bank. My cup. Even though it might be an actual problem or anxiety, bills, real stuff, legal stuff, that stuff is very real. It exists in the right here, right now. You've got to deal with it. But every single thought puts change into this other bank. So what your outcome is going to be determined on how lifted you can keep your spirits in this meantime, because you will be brought under attack. Right now you're vulnerable, but that doesn't mean you're weak.
Thank you. And it's like when I go to sleep, sometimes I try to like connect to myself or like to work during my sleep, and I have like it's like I've been attacked. It's like a mental attack, like confused and like misled. Like in one of my dreams, there was a room filled with things, and then this lady was telling me what to do, and then I was so confused, and like I was just like I didn't know what to do. It's like I was lost. And then I had another dream where I literally like was just standing there, and I wasn't able to move, and like this entity was like abusing me like in like a sexual manner, and I just couldn't move. I didn't know what to do. And like these things are happening in my subconscious, where I was fully protected before I became vulnerable.
Do you mind if I pray?
No, I don't mind.
Okay, we come before you to the source of divine love, knowing that everything we ask for, knowing full well that we will receive it, will be given to us. So in this very moment, I ask for you to send protection to this woman. I want you to cover her completely in comfort and peace, and for her to connect with her higher self, to know that There is absolutely nothing that can come against her when she knows where she is going and who is speaking to her. So help to remove everything that is not of love, everything that is not completely rooted in peace and comfort and her well-being. Banish it completely, transform it into white light and healing so that nothing can come against her again. Any thought that you have, capture it. Anything that is not of love, remove it, and let all her thoughts be of peace, and let her feel at this point that going forward, everything will be fixed in such a complete and instant manner that there can be left with no doubt that the only source of this can be from the source of pure and divine love. Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Absolutely, man.
And I want to say, like, throughout all the conversations, like, I feel like we all have to go through darkness to get to light, and in the Emerald Tablets, through Thoth, he said that he descended 1,000 ways of darkness just to ascend to the light, and I feel like we all go through that. Like, each and every single being within this life has obstacles. So this is why we, as a people, we have to forgive ourselves and forgive the people that harm us, because we don't want to take any of envy or jealousy or greed, with us, because that's going to keep you in forever in a locked state of mind. Because whatever you do here now in this reality is always going to be recollected, and like, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only changed and moved on, and right. Whatever, everything is going to be recollected once we die, and death is an illusion. So the way that you came in is the way that you're going to come out, through light itself, because wherever you stand from whatever you do now is going to either affect you within the next life, or hopefully make you more into you what you would have became now, into the reality.
I agree. That was some heavy stuff, and everything that you're going through right now is to heal the burdens of your past, not just your past, but all of your DNA is a collection of humans that came before you. You are them. They're not just part of you, you are them. Every single human that was involved in the creation of the things that make up your body, that's you. So everything attached to that, I know it's a big burden to bear, but when they talk about the sins of our fathers, that's what they're talking about. So I saw this picture of a woman who was holding this thing on her back that had her mom in it. Her mom's sitting there crying, she's got gray hair, and this young woman is like carrying her along. That's kind of how it is. So just know that these things that you're healing through are not just healing you, but it's healing everything that came before you and putting things at peace and kind of stopping, like that domino effect of continuing on. So you're doing a good thing. All these things that are happening to you, good can come of it.
So what's your take on that?
I see it. I see it. I know I'm technically the last of my line. I'm the only daughter of my mom and my father. My mom has 2 other kids, but I'm the only, I'm just gonna break it down the simple way. My father, it's like both my parents haven't been fully functional, like, in the real world. My mom is like, she just had a regular ass life and kind of lived in a lot of pain and regret, and but not consciously. I could sense her pain and her regrets, and I didn't want to be like her, but I know that's her thought patterns. And my father, he has schizophrenia, or at least that's how they raised them, right? Maybe he had a fully functional, fully able mind when he was a kid, but they just didn't get him, and they mistreated this overly sensitive being. and he had a lot of side effects throughout his life, and none of them were directly affecting me in my life, which I'm very thankful of. But there's like, I always had this in mind that I have to be different. I have to change this because I can't be like them. And these events that, you know, happened to me when I wasn't in control is like it just kind of took me away. Like it took my voice away. The I won't be that way, and it's kind of in a way molded me and like forced me to look at it a little bit different. Like for example, I had a conversation with my mom on the phone, and like now I'm seeing things like differently. Like I don't know, like they reprogrammed me or something, where I see life differently. And when I had this conversation with mom, I'm expressing myself and I'm crying and I'm just being my full, open, authentic self. And then she's like, she just like looks at me like she doesn't get it. And she just says like, oh, maybe that's how they saw, they took, maybe that's why they took you away. They probably saw you were suffering, you know. And then like she just didn't get it. So it's more of a thing that maybe I am healing them. Maybe all the wisdom I created from my birth to this point, it's gonna help them heal, like when they die or,
Yes.
you know, whatever happens. But it's very like hard to like deal with it in a way, because they don't get it. Like my mom doesn't get it. She doesn't get that I saw all that pain, that I saw all her regrets, and I literally didn't want to be that way. But then I come to see and find out that that's really not how she might be thinking.
Well, I will say, being a mother, my daughter is 16, and she and I have been through a lot. And I will say this, that the things you're telling your mother, you are doing this the most wonderful thing for both of you by being your vulnerable and authentic self with her. But just know that her reaction to that may not match her feelings inside, because that's going to bring up this tidal wave of stuff. And as a mother, it's really hard to exist while being in pain. So you know you've got to get this stuff done. You can't be hurting. You can't be in pain. You can't be crying. You can't be worrying about nothing. So all this regret, this fears, all this stuff, you got to shove it down. So it's hard to work through that while you got lunches to make and a job to go to. And then whenever your child is vulnerable and tells you these things, and you have to take them in and know that these things are true about yourself, and that it helps you to know these things about yourself. And I'm positive that all these things that you're doing are helping to heal her too, because she loves you. And you guys are going to have a better relationship for you guys talking through this stuff and not ignoring it. You're doing a great job. You're on the right track.
Well, she doesn't really do anything with her life, and I'm adopted in another country. Like she's in Puerto Rico, I'm over here, so I haven't really seen her in like 12
My daughter's
years.
in Virginia. Yeah, she hasn't seen me either in 12 years.
Yeah.
She's that's crazy. Yeah, she's in Virginia Beach. My situation was so bad that her dad took her and her little brother back to the state we were from, and I haven't seen her in 3 years. Like we saw each other briefly, you know what I mean? But we don't get to hang out. They don't get to come here and stuff. Their dad, he still doesn't really trust me. He's a cop, okay? Like all this stuff.
He trusts no one.
No, he does not want them to come see me, not yet. But I can still go up there to see them and stuff. But we're states away. It's expensive. And like, she's in Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's expensive. And there's different stuff involved. But y'all being able to talk through this stuff is going to help her immensely, because I can't speak for her. I can only speak for me. But having that pain of having your child not be with you is something that alters you as a human. And there's really nothing that you can do to get the time back. So you have to become something else. I'm gonna cry. So, there's this holly bush. It has these nice, perfect leaves. They're nice and smooth, but when they get bitten by deer, they get pokey. So things don't come and get them, And that's kind of what we do as humans. When we have all this stuff that hurts us really, really bad, we get a little pokey, but that doesn't mean that we're different as who we are. We just have to operate in a different way. So that's all I can say on that. I've got so much love for the state or distance type thing, parenting deal. It just keep talking to her and keep talking through that stuff. You guys are both gonna heal.
I really
go on.
Oh, I really strongly believe, the way we're talking right now to, each other, like this is definitely like a healing process, like this sounds like a very tribal, like how tribes would all connect together and like just speak upon and this is how we heal with one another, for me, and like for me, when I started growing up as a kid, you see, my people also had various problems. I used to actually be in foster care, and you see, it's pretty crazy how everything turned out to be. You see, my parents were actually in a weed operation, and the thing is that throughout that course, my dad had to give up everything for me and my mom to not go to jail or something like that, my dad had to throw everything for him to save us. And they put me in foster care though, but you see, but I got very lucky as a kid because I had a good judge that put me the dude absolutely said, if you do not give this kid back to their parents, because they didn't find anything. In reality, all they found was chemicals, and that's what kind of took, they you can find this online, about my parents, that they said that they found 300 cannabis plants, which is a lie. They haven't found anything. And and that's how the media shows these illusions on projected onto other people that didn't even do anything. And the thing is that my parents were still able to see me even when I was still in foster care. And not many people are able to do that, and I was only there for 30 days, but they almost tried to steal me. It's almost like the Matrix wanted me to stay inside of a situation, because these people were actually religious, and I never was really into religion or none of that. And, somehow I made it back to my parents. I was just an innocent kid, not knowing anything growing up. And this is, what we're, it's a very powerful thing, of how we all grew up in these traumatic situations. Star seeds, I feel like we are definitely all star seeds here, and we all grew up in a certain situations to where we put this knowledge to us, and I feel like that's how we acquired this knowledge, through the darkness that we had to go through to get to this light.
I absolutely agree with you, because all of this stuff that we went through, sorry, my kid burped earlier, but it shaped us. And if you don't have all of those struggles and hardships and stuff, look, I can tell you, because I started doing all the bad stuff when I was 28. I want to say I was almost 30.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. We only have 10 minutes on this, because Zoom. I'm gonna really call out Zoom for this. Why are you making people pay $104 for membership? That's insane.
That's because the corporations will pay it, and that's where they get their cash.
Right. So we only have 10 minutes, so continue on what you were about to say. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. I was just gonna I don't even remember, what were we talking about? Sorry.
You were saying that through the traumatic events that all of us.
So there's this quote, and I forget the quote, but you as a human, look, I used to be a soccer mom type person. I wasn't a soccer mom, but like I was real innocent, okay? And then after I went through all of this craziness, I will tell you the person I am now is so much different and more capable and stronger and like more open-minded and I'm a changed human. And so I appreciate having gone through all that crap, even though I shouldn't have done it. Like I regret doing it, obviously, but I love what it did to me. Well, I'd put in some work for it to do good stuff. It did bad stuff first, but it's all about how you approach it.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like, but this is like, if, like, trust me, because I felt like there was something that needed to push us in this matrix to get to where we are now. And, even if it took us a long time, I appreciate the knowledge. I appreciate everything that has happened, and realize that hopefully more better things will come out from it, And I feel like all these things that's happening right now, because there is a global awakening throughout the planet. So I feel like hopefully all this darkness will just fade, and then everybody will turn to their actual being, to what they were actually put here for. Because we're all here on a mission, It's just this mission is being diluted by beings and entities that do not care about us. So they just make it harder on us because of the things and traumatic things that they put on the TV, social media, and all this other bullshit that they honestly put everything on here. If you get what I mean.
They not only do that, but like they create like false excuses and false reasons, and like we also, not we, but like I've been living with my aunt and like her partner and stuff, and they're like super realistic in the way they see the world. And like, for example, Russia, Ukraine, and like the price is going up, and like these people, they look at life just straight up through the reels, and they justify like for example, the price is going up for us not being able to sell gasoline to other countries and stuff. And like I'm here like, are you making this up? Did you read that in the internet? Like, do you really just think that's the only reason? Like they look at life in a hyper realistic, hyper justifiable way, just like law looks at the law for the most part by the book, which is very kind of frustrating.
Life is way too nuanced and different and like delicate and stuff. Like you can't just listen to all the propaganda and this is why life is how it is. Like it is way more going on. There's so much more going on. If you could
like I wish. You're right.
Like
I
we
wish.
all live in libraries, and I know we're all live in libraries, and we're all this flow of energy, but like they can't see it, but we see it.
Like me, I personally wish that people just realize, like think about it like this, like people need to realize, like, damn, we're actually human beings standing on a planet, on Earth, on a ground that that gave us life, and somehow people think that this is normal. There's nothing normal about being in space and like all this crazy stuff. Like I don't get why people don't understand that. Maybe it is the fear and the fear factor that the government, the mental strain on these people that have mentally are being controlled. But like, damn, I wake up thinking like, wow, I'm a human being. It's insane to me that we're humans. Out of everything that we could have been, we are human beings.
I know, it's wild.
It is pretty crazy.
But it's almost like they choose the control, like by not fighting it and not doing something opposite.
That's because it's comfy. They're scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, because once you become very comfortable,
they wake up when they want to.
Right, because when you become very comfortable into a situation, it's like it's like you don't even want to step out of it because you feel like if I step out of it, this will happen or that will happen, and then the paranoia will come in and try to like tell your mind that, oh, please don't step out the comfort zone, like please don't try to deny the government, please don't think for yourself, like it's all socially conditioned. I said this back in my other podcast. I said, they taught us how to be politicians. They taught us how to write a narrative essay, scripts. They taught us how to persuade. They taught us how to inform. They're like, why do I need to persuade anyone, and why do I need to do anything to anyone in your own social programming? So, even through like, we are the selected few that were able to go through all of this.
Like when it comes to persuasion and like programming and stuff, when I was doing sales, I actually learned the easiest way to sell something, sell a car, sell a vehicle, it's through the subconscious. Like I literally just had to be there and let the person sell themselves, and all I had to do was suggest one or two things and they would do it. It's ridiculous how brainwashed we are.
Oh, wow.
That's a good point. This marketing thing, they will teach you a lot of that subliminal stuff. When you think you have a thought, that might not be, you that it came from. You're right about that.